Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing all right this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation with Carol. Yeah, good morning. You know, I watched yesterday I watched Jamie Foxx special on Netflix. And wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Good special. Really, really enjoyed it. He kind of talked about what he had been through. And he talked about who bought him out. Good morning, T-Rex. He talked about God bringing him out. And here's the thing. He was saying how he had this, it was like it was comedic. He had the funny moments in there, and then he had the spiritual moments in there, and he had the serious moments in there. It was really I liked it. I liked it. And it's called Jamie Foxx. What happened? What had happened was, so it was really good. Him and his the daughters are in there. They are participating in it. So I thought it was a very good way to for him to tell his story the way he wanted to tell his story, because so many times when you're a celebrity and things happen, everybody wants to know like what happened, and then you got all these people who believe in all this stuff, clones and baby, you name it, claim it, they got it out here. So it was a good way for him to come and present it the way he wanted to present it and how he wanted to present it. And one of the things he said, which was a very valid thing, is that he said, I didn't, he was sick and recovering. He didn't want to be all out here looking in a certain way and responding a certain way, because he was still, in recovery, which is understandable. You're in recovery, you know. And so he didn't want to be out here. That's almost like when what's her name had the baby over in England. She had the baby. And when they have the baby, they make you stand up there like she said it's like right after birth. And for us who didn't gave birth, baby, why we standing up right away? What is going on? Like, why we out here taking, I mean, in a full-fledged suit, dress suit, stand up and take a picture. So, it's like, what? So, and no wonder they look like that on them pictures, right? So it's like he presented it the way he wanted it presented. Good morning, Aunt Maddie. How are you feeling? How are you feeling, TT? That's my TT. I love her. I love her so. Yes. So I hope she's feeling better. She wasn't feeling well yesterday, and we prayed for her. And I hope she's feeling much better today. But the Jamie Foxx special was really, really good. Well, so remember, we've been talking about going into the new year, um, being intentional, right? So that's one of the things we're going to take into the new year, being intentional. All right. We're going to be intentional about some things in our lives, okay? And remember, this is personal. So you write those things down that you want to be intentional about. All right. Write those things down that you want to be intentional about. All right. Write them down so that you'll know that what you're going to, on my way to the doctor. I'm feeling better. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. I'm glad. It's your birthday month, girl. You got to be feeling better. It's your birthday month. So I want you all to know that intentional is personal. And I want you all to know that when you write down what you're going to be intentional about for uh 2025, make sure you are going back to look at it. Make sure you're going back, looking at it, saying, hey, have I been intentional in this area? Am I being intentional in this area? Or am I being, am I lacking? All right. And it's personal. It's personal. So today I had got up and I did my meditation, and I read and I did all that, and I looked at the affirmation. And well, yesterday I looked at the affirmation, to be honest with you. I always look at it a day ahead because sometimes that's the thought or the question I be having for that day. So the affirmation for today is don't be a slave. Don't be a slave to your thoughts. Control them. Have you ever been a slave to your thoughts? Has anybody ever been a slave to their thoughts? Have you been swept away, caught up by what you were thinking and get, as I say, lost in the sauce? Have you ever been a slave to your thoughts? I have. I mean, let's be transparent. And Sis says, oh, yes. And what happened? And what happened when you were a slave to your thoughts? What happened when you got caught up and you got lost in the sauce? Did you miss some things? Because I did. Brother T said, I have definitely been slave to my thoughts. Brother T, you've been a slave to your thoughts? I can believe it. I can believe, because you've dealt with some real serious things, right? You've dealt with some real serious things in your life, right, Brother T, that had you a slave to your thoughts. And not only did it have you a slave, you were so caught up and a slave to your thoughts that you started moving and grooving in a space and a time and in a way that you shouldn't have, right? Right. So and I ain't gonna say that you shouldn't have, because you're an adult. Let mama correct that. You're an adult, but it wasn't the most healthiest way to move. All right. Sister Moore said someone had to tell me to smile, was unaware I was mugging. Look here. And here's the thing about that. A lot of times you get caught up in your thoughts and you are mugging. I mean, I do it. I get caught up in my face talks though. My face talks. And so a lot of times I watch Savannah James in April on Everybody's Crazy. They have a podcast and I like it. I like it. I watch it, and it's interesting, and I love it. But one of the things they had on, it wasn't on the podcast, but it was on one of their little reels, where she had to hit her when your friend is looking, and you shouldn't be looking like that for a conversation. Going back to your mugging, yeah, because my face talk, and if you saying some stuff, my face be like, what in the world is going on here? Like I didn't, so it just depends on the situation. My face definitely does talk. And so if and when if I have been a slave to my thoughts, I'm pretty sure my face probably was showing what I was being a slave, because you get caught up. You get caught up in those thoughts, and when you get caught up in those thoughts, they begin to control you. They begin to control you. And when your thoughts begin to control you, it makes for a bad bad time. And the reason being is because you start to respond the way you're thinking. You see, so if you have some negative thoughts going on, then guess what? You're going to be responding negative, especially if you're thinking that way. All right. So we need to find out, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do to not be controlled or be a slave to our thoughts? Well, I'm glad you asked, because there are some things that you can do to not be a slave to your thoughts. There are some things that you can do to not be a slave to your thoughts. Okay. Here's one. You can practice mindfulness. All right. You can practice mindfulness, which actively observing your thoughts without judgment. Okay. So when you practice mindfulness, you're actively observing your thoughts without judgment. All right. So don't judge them. All right. They're a thought. Everybody has them. Don't judge them. However, allow them to pass through, but you have to actively observe them. A lot of times we don't be observing our thoughts. We just got stuff in our head. Just it's up there. It just be in there. and we ain't actively observing. They passing through, but we not active. So we have to practice mindfulness. Okay. Next, what are some other things that we can do? Well, while we practicing this mindfulness, we can observe. Okay, observe. You know what an observe is, right? Observation. All right, we learned that in school. Observation. We're observing it. We're looking at it. All right, we're observing our thoughts. And when you observe your thoughts, you when you observe your thoughts, you acknowledge it. You acknowledge your thoughts, okay? You acknowledge them, but you don't get swept away. Okay? We just talked about that. Don't get swept away by them. Acknowledge that they're there, but don't get swept away by them. Don't get swept away by them. All right? Then we want to challenge. We want to challenge our negative thoughts. We want to challenge our negative thoughts, okay? Well, what do you mean challenge them? Well, we want to question the validity of them, first of all. Is it even valid while we thinking negative? Because, a lot of us have these thoughts, and sometimes we have these thoughts. Is there any valid reason why we're thinking it? Is there any valid reason why we're having these negative thoughts? Is there any validity to them? Any validation for them? Because a lot of times, again, don't be a slave. Don't be a slave to your thoughts. Control them. Is it a valid thought that we should be having? Should we be having this thought? Should we not? Is this a delusion? Is this a distortion? Is this a mirage? What is it? Okay. So we have to remember. Challenge, And here's the thing about challenge. It's work. It's work. And you know what I'm finding out about a lot of things, doing this podcast, getting on here every morning. And when I do my research and reading a lot of stuff, you know what I find out? We don't like to work. A lot of things, changing your thought process, changing the way you're doing things, being intentional, doing things the right way, it requires work. And guess what? We don't want to work. We don't want to work. That'd be the problem. That is a huge problem. Because in anything that you're going to achieve, in any goal, any dream, any of that, in order to get there, you got to put in some work. You got to put in some work. And here's the thing. Look, most of the time it's valid because it poses as a distraction from what we should be focused on, right? It does pose as a distraction. But here's what I said. Here's the thing about distraction. We can't allow it. We got to focus on the present moment. Okay? We have to focus on the present moment and be intentional about not focus on that distraction. We have to be intentional about it. Because when you're not intentional about it, on purpose, okay, that's where you get, as I say, lost in the sauce. You get lost in the sauce. And here's the thing. I've been there. When I say this, I mean, I've been there. And probably have been there, and we'll go back. It's not safe proof. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. But these are tips that you can take with yourself, that you don't be a slave to your thoughts, control them, meaning that you don't have to have them control you. You don't have to get lost in the sauce with these thoughts. And then they have you out here choosing different acts. So challenge those negative thoughts. Challenge them. When that negative thought comes in and wants you to think negative, say, hey, how did you get here? Why are you here? Why am I thinking this? Why do you want me to do that? Where would it get me? I remember my dad, may he rest in peace. I love him so. May he rest in peace. I love him so. He used to say that. Why are you doing that? Ask yourself that. Why? Why are you doing it? I always say no to why. Why are you doing it? Why you let yourself tell you that? He would go there with that. Why you let yourself tell you that? You don't have to go there. You don't have to go there. You don't have to go there. I pray a lot to God. I talk a lot to God. Why? Because I know He's helping me get through a lot of things. So guess what? If I stay focused on Him, then you know what? A lot of times I don't have to become a slave to them negative thoughts that creep up in my head. I don't have to be a slave to them. I really don't. All right. Then that's me. You should try sometimes. You don't have to be a slave. You do not have to be a slave to those thoughts. You can control them. All right. You can control them when they come. All right. Focus on the present moment. Focus on right now. Focus on right now. What's going on right now? Because here's the thing. When those negative thoughts come in your head, a lot of times what happens is if you focus on where you are right now, those thoughts will dissipate. They'll go away. They'll go away. They won't be there. Focus on right now. Focus on right now, where you are right now. Focus on it right now. Yesterday might not have been a good day, but today is a new day. Yesterday somebody might have said something you didn't like, but today is a new day. All right. That circumstance and that situation might still be here. But guess what? Don't let those thoughts control you. All right. Move past it. And that's what goes on with a lot of people with the past. They're stuck there. They lost in the sauce. People change. People do change. Give some people the benefit of the doubt. Give some people the benefit. Some people change. And guess what? Even if they don't, you don't have to treat them in the manner that they treated you. That's just my belief. You don't have to treat them in the manner that they treated you. I ain't saying you got to be a rug. What if somebody said to me the other day? I ain't no doormat. I ain't saying you got to be a doormat. All I'm saying is sometimes you don't have to respond or return as the new thing with these folks. Same energy. Okay. We don't have to return the same energy. Okay. We don't have to. We really don't. You don't have to return it. You don't have to return the same energy. You can, be who you're going to be. Don't be a slave to your thoughts. Control them. Oh, she said this to me last time. And so she come this way. I'm going to come there. You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that. Don't be a slave to your thoughts. Control them. Focus on the present moment. Okay. Bring back your senses. Okay. Hear, smell, feel, touch. All right. All right. Keep that in your thought pattern. All right. Then you can do mindful breathing. Deep, intentional. There go that word again. And breathing. All right. Deep, intentional breathing. Relax. A lot of us is wound up. We don't need to go wound up. We're going into the new year. Okay. We're going to the new year. We can't be a slave to our thoughts. All right. We got to be intentional about doing some things. Right. We're going to be intentional about doing some things. So guess what? Relax. It's going to be okay. Relax. All right. And then engage in actions that require focus. Engage in things that require you to focus. The old people used to say an idle mind is a devil workshop, baby. When that mind is somewhere off doing what it want to do, it's idling. Hey, that's how my grandma used to say it. Idle mind is a devil workshop. You in there building and working. Don't let it become a workshop. Don't be a slave to your thoughts. Control them. Don't let your mind idle. You know how a car sit there and just be running. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't doing nothing. Eventually, when your thoughts get control of you, that's what be happening. You think you moving because you can hear the car idling and doing all that, but it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. All right. It's just sitting there. So I tell people all the time, don't get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost. Don't get lost in that space. Okay. Don't get stuck in that time. All right. All right. We have to not be a slave to our thoughts. We have to control them. All right. Don't be a slave to our thoughts. We have to control them. That's what we have to do. We have to control our thoughts. All right. We have to control them. So don't be a slave to them. Don't be a slave to them. All right. And then I want to leave you all with this affirmation on today. Can my current habits get me to my desired future? We're going to talk more about that on Friday. All right. Can my current habits get me to my desired future? You know, habits can be good, but some habits can be so bad. All right. So I want you to remember, don't be a slave to your thoughts, control them. And I want you to remember, we intentional. We going into 2025. We got a few weeks left. All right. I will not be on tomorrow, but I will be returning on Friday. All right. I thank you all for supporting me and joining me in Coffee and Conversations with Carol. Just remember that at 8 o'clock in the morning, I try to go live on TikTok. Now, today I tried to do it. I don't know what happened. It froze and it went away. I don't know if I can find my recording because I was talking. I was talking. And so I don't know. But if I find it, I'll post it on there. But I thank you all for joining me. I thank you all for supporting me. I just love it here. I love it here. Coffee and Conversations with Carol. I love you all support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm on YouTube. Subscribe. Yep. TikTok. Subscribe. Yep. Send me a friend request on Facebook. Send me a friend request on Instagram. I'm there. Coffee and Convos with Carol. Coffee and Convos with Carol. You know, when you hear this voice, don't you just want I'm just so relaxing in the morning. It's just so prepared. Just prep. Right? Remember to live, love, never ever stop laughing. Always find room to forgive because remember, none of us, not Nan one, is perfect. None of us is perfect. All right. So I just want you guys to remember that. And then one love. One love. I love that song. One love. We all need to learn how to love. More love in the world. Love. Okay. Love. And love on your loved ones. All right. The world is a challenging place, but it'll be okay. And remember, don't let those thoughts control you. You control them. Remember, what was that? Players Club. Don't let that money make you. All right. Don't let those thoughts control you. You control them. All right. I want you guys to have a great day. Love you. And remember, you are enough. Bye-bye.